Alright, I think I am archiving this on the stream just in case I'm going to record it locally, which means we'll lose the chat, but at least have it. Alright, thanks everybody for showing up. We are almost there. Almost there. Just before we started, I had heard that there's an issue with and I've heard this before from one of the CGF guys, that there's an issue with the dropship capacities and tonnages. Don't worry about it. The important thing is capacities. We'll work it out afterwards if we have to make sure everyone's got enough. So yeah. I'm looking on stream. This is going to be confusing because the comments on the stream, I don't know if those are real time or if those are delayed with the stream or not. So if you're saying the song isn't coming through stream, it's because I turned it off. Okay, so I think everyone is pretty much ready. So we're, like I said, modulo the dropship issue with the clans. We're going to probably go ahead and start when this is done. So this evening, I'm going to go ahead and set everyone to active. I want to double check and make sure that everyone.
The chat is 30 seconds basically delayed.
Okay. I want to go ahead and. Oh, real quick, by the way, if anyone wants to join us in, direct voice chat, just hop in Discord in the general voice channel. Right now, it's just myself and Bandit. We're pretty lonely. So what I was saying was, we'll go ahead and, get this thing. Get this thing on the road tonight when we're done here, hopefully. The one thing I wanted to get everyone together to show you is what the automation looks like now and how to do the basic functionality. The things you're going to do the most, looking at your stuff, jumping stuff around, launching battles. I'm going to run through that real quick. The automation is by no means complete. It's not even close. It is functional enough that we can get the league started. I'm going to continue rolling stuff out as we go. I said it earlier in Discord. We're basically laying the tracks in front of the train as it's rolling, going down the road. So there's going to be some hiccups, bumps. There's going to be some things you may absolutely need to get your work done. We will prioritize those as they come up, and I'm going to keep adding stuff, like I said, as we go. There's going to be bugs. I can almost guarantee it. I've tested this stuff that we're going to look at tonight as much as I can, but I can't test everything. That's one truth in software development, is your users can find every unique way to break your stuff that there is. So you will find bugs. Just bear with me as we work through them, fix them, and roll out fixes. All right, so some of the first things we want to talk about. Here's a star map. Everyone's seen this by now. You're tired of looking at this. The things you can do once you go active. Or first I should say, are there any questions? And I'm going to get 30 seconds delay in chat. Bandit, if I could ask you to curate the chat for me so that I don't miss something.
How do you look at the sectors?
Oh, sectors. The map tools. Sector boundaries. I had this turned off by default because from a distance away, as someone has, as Dervish pointed out, I think, it looks like a stained glass window. I wish it looked better. I put this together so that you could see the boundaries, but I'd rather they had like rounded edges and weren't convex halls. But yes, that is how you see sector boundaries.
Question.
Yes.
Is there an easier way to determine how many planets are in a sector other than counting the blue circles in a sector?
Currently, no. That sounds like a feature request. We can come up with something that would make that possible, like possibly hover over the sector and it just gives you some sector, basic sector data, which would probably be a good idea.
And why is the number of planets in a sector relevant to a team?
So the number of planets in a sector determine how big your raids are going to be in that sector. If we look at the rules, I have to look it up because I can't remember. So for sectors with 4 to 6 planets, your raids are going to be 3 drops. For 8 to 10 planets, 4 drops. 12 to 14 is 5 drops. Additionally, when you are doing... Oh crap, I have no idea how to get out of this window now. Should be easier than that. Additionally, in sector assaults, it is, and we'll see that as we go here, go through things here this evening, that determines how long your assault phase is going to be. And I'll describe that more when we get to the sector assault tracker. I tried to make the sectors, because the sector assault, the assault phase of sector assaults is a best of, it doesn't really work if the number of planets is even. So I tried to make the number of planets in the sector even, because you're not, the sector capital is treated differently in sector assault. So that would give you an even number of planets in the sector, gives you an odd number of planets in the assault phase. There are cases where that is not true. I want to say, just off the top of my head, here's one. This sector here, the wheel sector, is got 7 planets in it. That'll be treated as 6 in the automation. So the extra planet just isn't there, you know, for purposes of the battles. Anything else?
How do you view whether or not a planet is within 30 or 60 light years of the planet?
So just click on the planet. I was gonna go talk about something else real quick, but click on the planet. The white ring is your 30 light year radius. The green ring is your 60 light year radius. Now, this doesn't mean a lot in this context. Generally, you can jump anywhere inside 60 light years to any friendly planet. It starts meaning things when you are talking about launching battles. So in this case, we look at this. Federated Suns here could launch an attack on DC in either of these sectors because they can reach them. Because they're inside 30, you can launch an attack on anything inside 30 light years. If you have an enemy who's outside of 30 but within 60, you can launch an attack on them as well, but different rules start applying outside of 30 light years. For example, I can launch an attack as Fed Suns. I can launch an attack here on the New Earth sector of Lyran Alliance because they're within 60 light years, even though they're outside 30. I can launch an attack on the Quentin and Al Nair sectors of DC, but I cannot launch an attack on the Diev and I don't even have Shimonida sectors. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that right, because there are planets nearer to Eri in this case than the planets in those sectors. For example, though, if I wanted to, let's see. Okay.
Does that mean you could effectively station jump ships a little bit further away and then jump in to like 56 light years to do attacks?
Sure. So what I'm doing here is, before I was looking at what was going on from Eri, what's going on from Murchison instead. Now the things have changed a little bit. I couldn't reach this sector over here, the Lapida 2 sector before, but I can now. Technically, if these other sectors weren't, or the other planets weren't closer. If I really want to launch an attack in a sector, like you said, I'll just keep moving the ring until I get to the point where something in that sector is the closest thing. So in this case, I can launch an attack on this Lapida 2 sector from here, where I couldn't launch it from over here.
What about 500 light year jumps?
500 light year jumps. 500 light year jumps, those are special jumps. Those are available to the clans so that they can jump back and forth between the homeworlds, to the periphery so they can jump around the periphery if they are allied, and to mercenaries so that mercenaries can jump into employer space to go do a job. I'm going to flip the other side here. On the other side, I've got, you can't see it because Internet Explorer doesn't, actually you couldn't see it anyway because I don't have the logo up. But Internet Explorer has a bug with displaying images the way we're serving them. It's a known thing. I'll figure out what to do about that later because that's annoying. This is Tari and Concordant over here though. So I've got some stuff set up here. So I wanted to do a periphery link jump from this planet. Scroll out. I've added a 500 light year ring, which will show you how what you can reach from that planet with a special jump. Again, this is going to be true for the clans as well. If I were Clan Wolf and I wanted to be able to jump back to the homeworlds, I can do it. It's going to take 2 jumps. By the way, you're going to see planets up here that are in the middle of nowhere but owned by clans. Those are to make this jump possible. It's always going to be 2 jumps for the clans to get back and forth. 2 jumps each way. So Clan Wolf would be able to jump to, this probably isn't going to work for them. Thinking that in a previous map they had 1 planet farther north. Let's assume that the ring enveloped this, encompassed this planet. Then they would jump there, then they would get to jump up into the homeworlds from there.
Got a question in chat here. First, just kind of related to what you're doing right now. Somebody's saying that they're having issues getting the planetary information to come up on the screen. He's using Firefox. Any tips?
That is a known bug. I do have that logged. I haven't looked into what's causing it yet. Firefox does have some weird stuff going on. For example, the mouse scrolling didn't work, and I had to toss in a fix for that. And I just haven't gotten to the planetary pop-ups yet. You'll also notice how ugly these planetary pop-ups are. I need to do another pass on those, just in general. But yes, that's a known bug.
Another question. This one's a little bit more on the rules side. Naderus asks, rules say sector raids have a number of drops for 6 planets, and then it skips, so the other one is 8 sectors. I'm assuming 8 planets. How many battles in a 7 planet? Is that what you were kind of bringing up with the capital planet earlier?
Well, that's what I mentioned before. The Kars sector up here in Clan Wolf space. Was it Kars? No.
Does that
yes,
just mean
it was
there's
Kars.
never going to be
no, there's
a
6.
time where there's a 7 planet sector in the rules? Basically?
No, this is what I was saying before. There are planets with odd numbers of, or sectors with odd numbers of planets, just because that's how it worked when the sector setup happened. What was I looking at before? I know I saw one in Wolf Clan space. I could be wrong.
It sounds to me like you already answered his question. I just went a little bit too far up in the chat.
Oh,
did you get the how do we join our respective factions?
I have, like I said, I got the chat up on the 3rd monitor, so I'm not able to see them immediately, so they might scroll by. So if you have pilots, let's just start talking about start looking at that then. If you have pilots, well, first off, let's talk about the roster. So you can add your entire team roster to your faction roster in bulk. You just drop everyone in here. Damn it. Just adds them all at the same time. If one of your pilots has already registered in the automation with an account, you can invite them by using their exact call sign. Click extend invitation, and it'll say, hey, I've sent out an invite to this person. If that account exists, they'll get an alert that shows up on their screen, and that's going to be right here next to your little profile thingy.
Does their pilot name need to match their in-game name?
Yes, the roster names need to match the in-game name exactly. We'll see why a little bit later. That does
And
not
you said,
include your unit tags. It's just the pilot name.
Does that include the names that people are using to sign up on the automation? Like they had to sign up with their pilot name?
So if you can sign up with your pilot name, but a lot of pilot names have spaces in them. The automation has understands the difference between your account login and or which is your username and your call sign, which is separate and managed in your profile. So for example, I can change this guy in there in his profile.
That's a required field, I'm assuming.
Uh, yes, and I believe it will make sure that it's unique within the league. And now it will not make sure it's unique within the league. The pilot list, sorry, hang on a second. The anonymous pilot list is handled differently than the registered user profile list. So DC test user with spaces could exist on both of them. But when I go ahead and do this roster invite, if I were to invite DC test user, or if pilot 2 had an account, what will happen is I do the invite, pilot 2 accepts the invite, that will wipe out their pilot entry, and then they just have the user profile. Go ahead, question?
I was just going to ask, or I guess point out that this is relevant for pilots that want to like get access to the automation to click around or additional admins. It's not a requirement for everyone on your roster, correct?
Correct. But the only people who are required to have automation accounts are those that you want, like I said, doing stuff in your factions automation. You do not need to have your entire roster register accounts in the automation.
But you do need to have your entire roster declared on this screen, right?
Correct.
Using that mass field.
Yep. Like I said, if you have a text file with all your pilot names, just copy paste it in here and you can do it all in one shot. However, if you do have people you want to extend or make admins, then you click the pencil to edit their fields. You can turn their admin access on and off here. You can make them a contact. Very soon I'm going to have a field in the faction listing that says contact this faction. Anyone who has this flag set is going to get the alert or the notification that whatever it is the person had sent. So I've saved him. He is now a contact. He is now an admin. I cannot do this for, I guess, anonymous pilots. So if I try that, it says I can't do it because they're not a registered automation user. Really what I should do is just make those fields disabled. You'll also notice that when I'm editing this pilot, I can edit his name, but when I'm editing this pilot, I can't edit his name. It's because the only person who can change that call sign is the user. You can't change a user's call sign for them, but you can change the names for the anonymous pilots here. If you're used to MRBC, the anonymous pilot stuff, it's actually the whole roster system is similar to MRBC. If you remember, if you're familiar with that, where you only need to be registered in the MRBC automation if you're going to be an admin. Otherwise, you can just dump people on the list and you can edit them yourself. It's the same concept.
Now you're going to want to make sure that your pilot names in your roster are exactly what they are in game because of the API, correct?
Correct. Because using the PGI API for drop logging, if any of you have done private lobbies, you've seen the actually I forget what the hell the button is called, but you've seen the button to
publish scores or something, or publish results.
Yeah, you've seen that button that's in the lobby, the results. What you'll do is you'll just click that button. It copies the match ID to your clipboard. You'll come over to the automation. You will copy that into the field that we'll see later, and then it will just automatically log the drop for you.
Question in chat. Can an Intersphere jump ship trying to get to the clan homeworlds, since they must go planet by planet, if a clan planet blocks the Star Road, can they jump over it or jump to it? I'm assuming they'd have to fight there, right? If it was the only planet jumpable.
That's a good question. That was an easy question to answer Who the hell put this shortcut in here? That's an easy question to answer in previous NBTs because everything was planet by planet. We don't have single planet battles yet. It may just end up having to be like a clan trial. Like if I am an IS faction and I'm here on, this planet, technically I can skip past and go directly appear to this
The same
unassigned.
thing as if you jump to a Merc world, right? Like same kind of concept as single planet.
Merc worlds can't be attacked because they're not really owned by the Merc. The Merc has set up shop there, but they don't really own it.
So for the single planet clan worlds, can you just jump through it and maybe it just like warns them that you arrived or something?
Well, no, we're going to have trials for the clans, and there may be we're going to have some sort of single planet battle support in the automation. It's not there yet. When it is, and by the way, this is going to take weeks to get to this point. I know, having done it. If I'm on Lithagos and I want to keep going up the road, I'm going to have to go through St. Jean, which is a Jade Falcon. So you're going to have to be fighting a battle with Jade Falcon. Again, that support's not in the automation yet.
TBD.
It will be before long. TBD.
All right. How much are drop ships, and do we have any numbers for space assets, production-wise?
So, if we're done with rosters, let's move on to, who am I, DC? Let's move on to DC. So, you will see now, you don't see this in what you have access to right now. Again, I'm on the test automation. This is going to be coming online tonight. This is what your factories is going to look like. These prices are going to show what your price is. You're not going to have to do any math. It's going to say this is what the price is for your faction. You're going to be able to see what the factory currently has available to buy. So, maybe this number is 5. You can buy 5 Panthers right now. However, on the output, we talk about this. This has been asked several times. This number just tells you how many of these it'll put out per week. And these are wrong because I have not set these. Actually, I know I pulled in the wrong field there. That should be. That should read 2. That should read 3. That should read 6. That's going to tell you how many per week that slot puts out. So if I wanted to buy Jenners, I'm just going to start rolling this up here. I want to buy 8 Jenners. So tell me what my. Actually, I want to buy 8 Jenners and a Leopard dropship. Dropships are also going to be show up in here too. So this just got expensive. It's a horrible alert dialog. I'll make that look better, but it's basically asking, do you want to pay this much? And you're going to say, yeah. And then it'll say, oh, I could buy those, but I couldn't buy that because I don't have enough money. It's going to do them one at a time. It's basically going to do them in the order they show up in this form. So the order for the Jenners went through. Now I have 8 of those pending. You'll see again here if we look at that. The numbers in the parentheses indicate the current queue depth. This will include everyone who's ordering at that factory. So if allies are ordering from your factories as well, and someone in front of you has ordered 4 Jenners at this factory, that'll show 12 after you order your 8. Let me do something. Let me give DC some money here real quick. All right, DC has money. We're going to go ahead and buy this Leopard. Just spotted a bug. Yes, I want to buy a Leopard. All right, so now there is a Leopard pending. This would be more interesting. Hey, give me 1 second. This would be more interesting. Yeah, give me 1 second to do something. You can ask questions in the meantime. We'll come back to this.
Are orders fulfilled in factories first in, first out? If you've ordered mechs and they are completed, do they sit on the planet until you retrieve them? And what happens if the planet is attacked?
Orders are first in, first out, just like McDonald's. Just like McDonald's as well. That'll sit there until you come pick up your order off the counter. I do not have full
Does it
service
take up
delivery.
garrison space?
They're delivered into mothball unless you have a drop ship there. And I do not have full service delivery implemented yet, so you can't say, hey, deliver it to my planet, which would take more time and cost more money for you. So I'm not sure how useful that option is going to be.
If I order a Banshee, can I get some fries with that?
Supersize.
What is the cost for supersize?
Don't know yet because I haven't implemented. I haven't thought about it.
And then what happens if the planet is attacked?
Mothball mechs are not affected by attacks on the planet.
Production isn't affected at all,
No.
unless, of course, the factory is destroyed or something.
Correct.
So if an unallied person takes over the planet, are you able to jump in and retrieve your mechs? How do you get your mechs then? So if I order from Fed Sons and I'm not allied with DC, DC comes and takes the planet, what happens to my mechs?
You're ordered with Fed Sons. Oh, if they come and take the planet, they're still there in mothball. I would hope. Actually, I haven't thought about that. I would have, might just go see what the old automation did. I'm guessing they're still in mothball, but yeah, you'd have a hard time getting to them.
So suffice to say, pick up your orders quickly before they get cold.
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine people are going to be placing orders at factories and then just leaving them sit there, unless it's their own space. And even then, if you know you got stuff sitting there, you're at some point you're going to go pick it up if there's a battle going on, just to make sure that doesn't happen.
Do dropships have the same purchasing rules as that? And can a faction research dropship factories so they can gain one if they have none?
So researching only applies to cross-tech, and you can't capture a dropship. You can't steal one. You can't do anything with it. So there's no research or repair you can do to dropships to be able to do cross-tech dropships. As for your own tech dropships, either you have access to planets that make them, or you make them, or you don't have access to dropships. To additional dropships, I should say.
Can you define cross-tech in greater detail? I'm assuming what you have to if I remember correctly, you capture a certain amount of a specific mech, and then you'll have the ability to make your factories start designing them.
Correct. Cross tech is anything. So it's basically there's clan tech and then there's IS tech, which is everybody who's not clan. Cross tech is anything that is not your on the other side of that divide from you. So I'm DC and I'm fighting Ghost Bear and I capture a Kodiak, or I repair a Kodiak, or I steal a Kodiak. However, I end up with a Kodiak through one of those three means. There's a counter going on in your faction for every cross-tech chassis that will get incremented by however many of those you steal. Historically, the number has been 35. I think I'm going to keep it at 35. So as soon as you steal, repair, or capture 35 Kodiaks, you can then make Kodiak factories. It's going to be expensive, but you can make them.
Is it only between clan and IS tech?
Yeah, I mean, everyone in the IS, whether you're a Merc, a Perif, or a House, or whatever, has access to IS tech. So they're all considered IS for purposes of cross tech.
So does that mean if you have a factory, you can teach it to make any IS mech you want if you're already IS?
You can, if you're going to build another factory. I'm trying to think of, this question was asked earlier today in a different context. Someone who has both IS and clan factories. If you're IS, you can build any IS. Say I've got a factory. Actually, let's take a look. All right, let me finish this real quick 1 second. All right, so now everyone should everyone should have 5 for their stock level. You need to refresh that when we open the dialog. Okay. Now I just did this, and I just edited the database basically, so that's why this still says 5 and 8. So right now we're on, let's say, Shimatoma. I still have no idea how to pronounce this. This planet here has 4 different factories on it. There are a couple different things I can do. I can make this blackjack factory make more blackjacks per week at a cost of 250 times at a cost of 250 times the cost of 1 blackjack. I can build another blackjack slot on here if I want, which I don't know why I would do that unless this one had reached its max capacity of 12, at a cost of 250 times the cost of 1 blackjack. Or I can build it. Actually, if I get enough blackjacks and want to make Phoenix Hawks here, I can make another factory here at the cost of 250 times the cost of 1 Phoenix Hawk that'll make Phoenix Hawks. If I really don't like where my factories are and I want to build another factory on Falsterbo, who the hell names these planets? I'm going to build another factory on Cadiz. That's going to cost me 750 times the name, or 750 times the cost of a single whatever it is I want to build there, because you're building a new factory at that point as opposed to expanding an existing factory. It's almost always going to be cheaper to expand your existing factories. You'll notice, by the way, that I clicked on Benjamin. Nothing showed up. I'm only showing, when we're active, I'm only showing the lines you have available. I'm not showing the empty lines because that just confuses things. So if we go back to Shimonita, I still have no idea how to pronounce that. Then this guy probably has more lines that don't have anything in them. Just not going to show them. So what I wanted to show real quick was I want to buy 4 blackjacks. Go ahead and buy 4 blackjacks. Yes. The green flash says it succeeded, which, by the way, that's probably the feedback mechanism I'm going to move to for everything. It's just more intuitive. Any second now, I'm going to get an alert from the system saying that, hey, you had 4. Notice the stock level decreased from 5 to 1. That's because my order was filled immediately. This alert thing updates every minute, by the way. So it could be up to a minute before this shows up. There we go. Hey, I got an alert. It says that I had 4 blackjacks delivered to Mothball on Shimorida. Right now, it's the only notice you're going to get. I don't have emails integrated into this yet. That'll happen before long. But that's how you know you got your mechs. And I need to fix this too. Notice that Shimona only has the factory ring. Now it's got green rings because it has mechs on it. Those mechs are in Mothball, but there's mechs there, that I can go pick up if I have to.
If you is that alert does that go to all the admins?
The alert goes to everyone who's an admin, yes.
If you X out of that alert, does it exit out for all the other admins, or are they in charge of their own alerts?
You are in charge of your own alerts. I'm trying to think, because I just implemented this 2 days ago. Yes, what it does, because all the alerts are per user, so yeah. It just makes copies of them for each admin.
Got a question in the chat. With these numbers being tossed about, what happens if a faction goes into the red with their maintenance costs? Obviously, they can't purchase, but do they lose anything they already have?
Going really,
What happens if
you,
you're
you,
broke?
you shouldn't be broke. In theory, if
You
you're
lost the
losing,
game.
well, yeah, if you're losing sectors, you're losing planets, which means you're going to have less maintenance for the planets, possibly losing factories, less maintenance for factories, for charge stations. You're losing, so you're losing mechs. So your economy, your income and your expenses should scale with one another. If you have so much money that you can just keep buying mechs and expensive stuff, and your costs just keep going up, you're not going into the red. And you'll also not be able to spend yourself into the red. I gave this DC a billion C bills. So let's see. If I try to buy 11 of these, it should fail. And it did not. All right, I need to fix that. It should have come back and said, hey, insufficient funds. I know I just coded that.
Switchblade says challenge accepted.
No, but before I set teams active tonight, I'm going to be reviewing their finances and making sure that you're not starting off in the red, because that would be bad. By the way, in terms of finances, the different factions have different amounts of income and different ways of getting income for a reason, because factions are different. If you're a house, you're making your income from your vast number of planets. Clans have much less income. The invasion clans have more than the homeworld clans, obviously. But clans aren't going to have as much as the houses around them. Mercenaries are expected to make their money on contracts. The mercenaries who are sitting on factory worlds, right now, mercenaries technically, quote unquote, own planets. So there's a minimum of industry I'm putting on this planets to make sure that the mercenaries, if they don't do anything, their account doesn't go into the red. But it's not like they're going to make bank sitting there doing nothing. If you want to make money in the game as a merc, you're going to have to go out and find a job. You're 18, get out of the basement. Periphery states, they're smaller. They're probably about the same level of finances as the clans. And I think it's all the faction types we have in the game. So yeah, it should be difficult to spend your way into default, but if you do, we'll be keeping an eye on it, and hopefully we will step in and help you avoid that. Yeah, step in and help you avoid getting to that point before you get there. We being admin. So that was basically factory purchases. I don't have it ready tonight, but the next day or two, I'm going to have a page here, another pane on that one maybe, that says here's my current pending orders and what state they're in, and how long it'll take stuff to get delivered, that sort of thing. Any questions? Any other questions before we move on?
Oh, the burns. Switchblade's got a mouth on him.
All right, so it looks like we're done, caught up with questions. What is next? We've done roster, we've done factories. Attacking. Let's go over this real quick. A couple more things here before we get into the fun stuff. My ledger. This is going to tell me what I've spent, how much I've got. Yeah, somehow I managed to spend myself into the red after I just said you can't do that. That's because my factory purchases broke, apparently. On this, again, that'll tell you when it happened, what it was for. Let's see. Let me do this real quick. Let me issue DC their some payroll, which I can do because I am the admin. I'm going to issue them some whatever garbage amounts I've got here in the test automation. Again, by the way, what you're seeing here in terms of factories and what they make, meaningless. I just put random stuff all over the place 15 minutes before the meeting. I need a refresh button. So this is what you're going to see. We got some number of C-bills as our income for all our planets. And then we started taking out, wow, I know 3 billion can't be right. For 300 planets, that's got to be wrong. Actually, I know what it is. It's the income's wrong. And then this is all of your all the various sundry stuff you're going to end up having to pay for. Charge stations, factories. I tried to actually the way charge stations and factories are done in terms of maintenance. It's progressive like taxation. The fewer of them you have, the first few, you're not getting taxed as much, and then I think for factories there is, for charge station there's one inflection point, and for factories there's two. And I think the inflection points are like 50 and 100 for factories and something like 25 for charge stations. And the idea is you didn't put these things there, you didn't select them, you didn't have any control over them, so I don't want to absolutely gouge people for stuff they can't control. The things you can control, well, you can't really control how you can control how many drop ships and jump ships you chose and how many combat units you buy. So this is the one that's going to change most over time based on what you purchase. And it's really not going to change that much. Combat units don't cost that much, especially when they're in garrison. Attack units are going to cost the most, and we should talk about the difference between combat units state. There is combat units can be in mothball, they can be in active duty, or they can be what is it? No, combat units are mothball, they're attack, or they're garrison. Garrison mechs are the cheapest. They're sitting there, they're just sort of hanging out, drinking beer, waiting for something to happen on your planets. Mothball mechs, the lore reason is they're kept in a heightened state of alert. Basically, what it is, think about it, if your car gets towed, somebody's charging you a daily charge to keep that thing in storage until you come and get it. That extra charge you're getting charged is what the mothball cost is for. The attack mechs are the most expensive, and that is because they have to be ready to go into combat. And attack mechs are anything that is not in garrison and not mothball right now. The question was brought up earlier today: do mechs in dropships count? Currently, those count as if they're on my planets doing nothing. Currently, those count as attack mechs. I think I'm going to make those be garrison mechs because it's just like putting stuff in a storage container. It's still there in garrison. It's not being used for attack, and it's not in mothball. That's the primary difference. So if I have, wow, that didn't do me anything to get me out of a hole. And let me give myself some more money. It's good to be the king. All right, so I'm not in the hole any longer. I have 132 million C-bills, and for some reason I want to give it to, I don't need to have myself in there, that's dumb. Fed Sons, for whatever reason. I'm giving them 100 million C-bills because of things. Oh, interesting. Another bug. That should work, and that should put money in Federated Sons account. That's how you would do it when it works. It doesn't work there. I'm going to have to fix that. Weird. By the way, for those who are doing contracts with mercenaries, this is how you're going to pay your mercs. I'm going to say, you're going to see active factions in here, by the way. I'm going to pick Northwind Highlanders because Switchblade has spent his faction into the red, and I need to give them something. I'm going to give them a certain amount of money for whatever the contract is. Maybe it's prepayment of the contract. Maybe it's the contract's filled. Transfer funds. Boom, it's done. That's all you need to do to pay your mercs. And they will let you know if the contract is paid in full. Any questions on accounting? Natarist has took accounting 101, so he knows all about it. If you have any accounting questions, ask Natarist. DC does not have any alliance set with anybody. You know what? TC does, though. So let's go look at TC real quick. So in TC, when I go look at their diplomacy, I had set them to +5 with Fed Sons for this example. They're at 0 with everyone else. I don't have the... Let me see if I can pull this up. I don't know if this is going to be useful to show in here or not. All right. So I think you've all seen this before. Wish I could make that bigger. The alliance levels we just saw. I'm going to have to get this out of the way now. By the way, you can find that diagram in the Ask It Admin channel. It is pinned. That's what these numbers correspond to, the things you can do on that diagram. Since TC is at a +5 with Fed Sons, they can buy from Fed Sons factories. Which means when I go look at factories, TC, I can see all of TC's factories. Now I can also see Fed Sons factories. And I can buy from Fed Sons factories as well. And that should say 5. I don't know why it doesn't say 5. Hey, log me out. This time let's stay logged in. All right. By the way, that keep me signed in will keep you. It sets your token expiration to 2 weeks ahead. So it's not forever, but the chances are you're going to log in sometime in the next 2 weeks to refresh it, and it'll just keep advancing it 2 weeks every time. There we go. Another refresh bug. So TC factories, I can see all my factories. I can see the Fed Sons factories. I can buy from Fed Sons factories. Fed Sons, hey, look, they make overlords. They make overlords everywhere. By again, this data is completely bogus. Don't think that Fed Sons is making overlords on New Avalon. Actually, I haven't set up the drop ship factories yet. I have no idea who's making what where. And the rest of these mechs are all nonsense. So I want to buy from this. Actually, I just noticed something. These numbers are going to be wrong. What you're seeing here, these should have, or no, I think never mind. A +5 I think is the same. I got to go look at the alliance levels are supposed to affect what your cost is when you're buying at allies factories. I forget what it is, and I got to incorporate that here. It's not incorporated yet. I think it's probably it for factories. We already saw factories before, but yes, this is, you're going to see your allies factory. Everyone whose factories you can buy from, you're going to see on your list as well. And I think that's probably it. I mean, everyone's seen the dropship and jump ship screen in your faction setup. There should be nothing new. I got dropships. I can name them. I got one dropship that apparently is nowhere. Oh, I know why, and we'll show that here in a second. I'm going to go ahead and rename this guy to Union 1. All right. The reason, actually, is there any more questions on economy factories, any of that crap before we move on?
Did you get the one from Nitorus about is there a trick method for transferring assets to mercenaries or specifying factory access?
Specifying factory access, I've got it in the database. I don't have it in the interface yet. There will be a checkbox, like we're over here. There'll be a checkbox on your factory screen where I don't know if I want to do it per faction. Probably end up doing it per faction, saying this faction can buy, this faction can't. Or maybe blanket checkbox that says nobody can buy from my factories except me. Now, bearing in mind, of course, that allowing allies to buy from your factories is one of those things that increases your diplomacy level with them without you having to do any role play or anything. It's one of those friendly actions that affects your diplomacy. And I think we're caught up in chat. So I'm going to go back over to TC here because this will help show a couple of things.
Said option A sounds best. That's his 2 cents.
What happened?
He was commenting that he liked option A better.
Oh, to do it per faction? Yeah, I think that's how the old automation did it. You could set it up per faction. In fact, I think it was a system where you had to explicitly enable allies. You had to add them to a list to be able to buy, as opposed to exclusionary. It's inclusionary.
Sorry to interrupt, but it was a checkbox.
What's that?
It was a checkbox.
Okay. So it was blanket then. There's no reason we couldn't do it per faction. It's just data.
It was a checkbox per faction, sorry.
All right.
Going back to muting myself.
So I am sitting here on perdition. Some of you have asked, what the hell do all these rings mean? If you click on Map Tools, Map Legend, it'll tell you what the rings mean. In this case, on perdition, perdition is again, I need to fix that. That should say sector capital, not faction capital. All of these magenta rings you see are sector capitals. This guy, it's hard to see because they're so close together. It's a factory because it's got a white ring. It's got a green ring, so it has mechs on it. It's got a cyan ring, which is that light blue color, so it has drop ships. And it has a dark blue ring, which means it has jump ships on it.
Is there a way you can summarize that in a mouse over too?
Yeah, I really need to just take this, do a serious usefulness pass on this pop-up box. Yeah, it's a lot easier than hunting stuff down through menus. One of the things I've tried to do with the automation this time as compared to previous automation is I tried to make things more map-centric. So I'm going to try to make things be accessible from the map as much as possible. So there's definitely some usability passes coming up as we go forward. In fact, the thing you're going to see now is one of the first things I wrote, and it's horrible. It's horrid. It's a terrible experience. It's barely better than the previous experience of moving, mechs and dropships and there weren't no dropships before. Moving mechs and jump ships around. It was horrid. It was unbearable before. Now it's just painful. and ugly, and I'm going to be fixing this crap too. But right now, this is what we're going to start with. This is what I want to show you. I've got stuff here. I wish that box would go away. Got stuff here. I've got all these things on here. There are several things you do when you are getting ready to move stuff around. Mechs get put on drop ships. You'll load your mechs on drop ships. Drop ships get docked to jump ships. Jump ships are what move between planets. Drop ships basically just move between the jump ship and the planet's surface. Jump ships move things that they're attached to from planet to planet. And then you do that in reverse. You undock your drop ships onto the planet, then you unload your mechs from the drop ship onto the planet. So we're going to see that process right now. So I've got stuff here. You'll see I got, sorry, this is just the map. When I click on a planet that has nothing interesting, like this guy, nothing special happens. You'll get context menus, if you will, or contextual information, contextual links based on what the planet has on it, with what you can do with it. Right now, since this planet's got everything on it, I'm going to see everything. I'm going to see the beginnings of my jump stuff over here. I'm also going to see my combat unit and dropship stuff over here. So first thing we're going to do, we're going to load combat units onto a jump ship. I click this, and then this will give me a list, and there's a reason, by the way, that this is every single one of them individually. It's because every single mech you have is an individual instance of the automation. They're all tracked individually. I could probably make this easier by saying, hey, I've got 12 fire starters on the planet. Because in MechWarrior Online, we don't really care about which specific ones we're taking. For other games, such as Mega Mech, we might. But in this case, probably it's going to be a better user experience. I'm thinking if I just say I got 12 fire starters. But, so what we're going to start with tonight is this. Fortunately, you can select them all at once.
So does this mean, did you have the dropship destruction or orbital cannons and stuff implemented?
There is no system defense stations, so there is no dropship destruction yet. We'll see if we need to have that.
Where you spend credits as a defender to blow up dropships, though. Is that in there?
That was on the way out of a raid, I think, if I'm thinking about that rule correctly.
So it's the result, like after the raid, you can blow up a leaving dropship kind of.
Right. And I don't have that in.
Then when you're loading your dropships.
Correct. So you do want to make sure that, if I don't want to put all my really interesting stuff. So I came in and I stole 4 Warhammers. I don't want to put all 4 Warhammers on a single dropship necessarily. Hang on a second. Let me select 4 things. Yeah, I don't necessarily want to do that if I really want to take my Warhammers away, because they may get destroyed on the way out. Maybe I want to put a Warhammer, 1 on each. I got 4 dropships, so I'm going to put 1 on each dropship, just in case. So what we're seeing here is I got the planet and the dropships that are on the planet. The mechs that are so I got mechs on the planet, I got dropships on the planet. This tells me where I am. I'm on Perdition. It is owned by Tarian Concordate, which I own. That would seem to be obvious. It's going to be less obvious when I'm offloading or onboarding from an attack. You want to make sure that I'm on the right planet. The jump ships I named before, there's a reason I named those, because they're going to show up here, and it's how you're going to know which ones they are. I don't know if everyone named all their drop ships. If you didn't, this list, the order they appear on this page is the same order they're going to appear on the next page when you're getting ready to dock them to your jump ship. So you saw me move stuff onto a drop ship already. Let's say 4 fire starters. Some ravens, some assassins. couple of locusts because I gotta have bushwhackers. And no matter what Switchblade says, everyone loves your crabs. Phoenix Hawk Archer. By the way, you can tell how much space is left. This is telling you how much each dropship has left on it. So I got no room left on this one, no room left on that one. I got room for 4 more on this guy. Both of these guys are fully empty. So let's go ahead and just grab 4 more things here real quick. Alright, so my first 3 dropships on this list are fully stocked. So I'm good, that's all I'm taking. I want to go ahead and put those on my jump ship. I move to the dropships menu. And like I said before, this ordering of this list is the same as the ordering in the one we just saw before. So if you didn't name your dropships, it shouldn't, hopefully not going to be too confusing. If you know you loaded the first 3 dropships, damn it, you would just pick the first 3 dropships. Jump ships. I have 3 jump ships, and again, the ordering here is going to be the same as we're going to see in the next step. 3 jump ships. This guy's got 3 hard points available. Good. I'm only moving 3 jump ships, or 3 drop ships. So perfect. Those are docked. We're done there. Those guys are going to sit on the planet. These guys are going to stay around the planet as well. So I've selected perdition. You can see over here on the jump side. It tells me the origins perdition. The first step is to select the destination. In order to do this, in a lot of cases, maybe I'm not doing anything particularly tricky. I'm moving around my space. So let's say I want to jump. Shit, this is bad placement. Oh no, I can do this. I want to jump to Ilyushin with this guy. There's a couple different ways I can do it. I can go ahead and select Ilyushin directly. To do this, I'm going to hold down the Shift key and then click Ilyushin. You'll see that up here it selected Ilyushin, and here are the jump ships that are available to jump. I only loaded up the first one. I'm going to select the first one. It'll then tell me what things I can do from here. There's a jump type and a jump action. You may have heard about the clan homeworld jump, the mercenary contract jump, the periphery link jump. Normal jumps are the jumps within the white and green rings. You use those for attacks, you use those for moving stuff around your space. The special jump, in this case for TC, is going to be the periphery link jump. Right now I'm just moving stuff around my space, so I'm just going to keep it selected normal. Damn it. Let's start this over. Shift to select Ilyushin. We'll do jump ship and we'll do normal. The jump action is what you want to do. Pass through is what you're doing when you're moving to friendly space or you're moving through unassigned planets and stuff. The other 2 are launch sector assault, launch sector raid. So again, we're just moving stuff through our space. Damn it. Normal pass through. We have our jump ship selected. He's going to end up on Ilyushin. Verify that here. Perdition Ilyushin. We're going to again execute the jump. Huh. In excess of 60 light years. Well, you know what? It is. But hey, I've got charge stations here. So if I were to, I've got perdition selected. Let's start. Damn it. Misclick. I don't actually, I think everyone missed that. What was the last thing you heard me say?
Misclick.
Misclick. Yeah, I'm sorry. I should just go off push to talk. So I misclick. I'm going to start this over. So I'm going to click perdition, and then what I was saying was I can, what this is doing here is this is calculating a jump path for me. Anywhere I can jump inside the green ring, it's not that interesting because I can reach all these anyway because I'm allied with the Fed Suns and I own all the red planets. The problem is I want to, you know, let's not worry about it. Let's do this because this will make this work. So I clicked execute jump, and boom, I got blue rings around Grossbach. Now I have jump ships on Grossbach, and go ahead and select Grossbach here. Let go. There we go, Grossbach. I got a jump ship on Grossbach, but I really want to go to Ilyushin. And you know what? I'm betting. I don't know why this isn't working. This is not a useful demo. Damn demos. Let me see if I can do this on the other one. I want to do this because it's cool. There we go. I don't know why it wasn't working for TC. Those charge stations are there. What this is doing is it's calculating a charge station path for me. Sometimes it makes a really bizarre one. That is because my breadth first search is wrong somewhere. But I mean, if I want to, I'm Fed Sun, so I can only jump to my stuff. Why does Robinson not have a... You know what? Let me put some damn charge stations in here real quick. It's going to make this more interesting. Give me 1 second. All right. So I've made some charge stations that should go through. Where the hell are they? Where the hell's New Avalon? Hey, I want to know where New Avalon is. Some of you may have used this, some of you may not have. It's a planet search dialog. I click find. It takes me to New Avalon. New Avalon doesn't have a charge station on it that it should. Why not? This is a test automation, right? Should be able to go Robinson, Breeder Robinson. Robinson's outside of 60 light years. Damn it. No, I should be able to breed Exeter Robinson. Should be able to go breed Exeter. Oh, why does Exeter not show charge station? Oh, it's because I'm logged in as DC. Hang on. Duh. We'll get to that in a second. There's the reason I was logged in as DC. I really want to show you guys this. Because this is useful. This was a pain point in the past. I spent a lot of time working on this. The damn thing better work. All right, I got stuff at Robinson. That's right. Those are DC drop ships or jump ships. I got stuff at Robinson. I want to get stuff to... I've already lost New Avalon. How do you lose a house capital? Oh, there we go. It's doing it anyway. I wanted to get to Manassas. So what this has done, and again, it's calculated a stupid path. I don't know why the first hop is usually wrong, but this is, the map has said this is the jump path that I'm going to take. And this is important because when I'm using this feature, I'm basically saying I'm going from Robinson to Manassas, and you use the path that's on here. And I want to take the Invader 3, and I'm going to jump Invader 3. I'm just going to click jump. I don't have sufficient funds. FedSons is broke and is going to need money. FedSons now has money. We're going to make a jump. And it's going to jump this path from Robinson to Manassas. And each one of those hops is going to be recorded in your ledger, by the way. So I just gave them some money, and then each one of those hops, it went from Exeter to New Valencia to Shabance to Augusta to Manassas. Basically this path that we saw here. It's going to do that automatically, calculates for you automatically. It logs all those jumps automatically, moves the jump ship there. So those of you who remember in the past having to, jump ships manually through the 8 different pages and clicks you had to do in the previous automation, it's that easy now. And what's more, I can move all these guys at once. Did it move them? Didn't say it didn't. Oh, I know what it might be. Yeah, there's a refresh bug here I need to fix. Okay, it's not doing it. I love demos. You should be able to jump everything here at once. I don't know why it's not doing it. Yeah, now I know. I'll fix that. Point is, we saw this with one of them, and I think that's going to be useful, especially to all you guys in the houses. I think it's going to be useful to our friends with the special jump. Let's go back over here to Perdition, and scroll all the way back out. And I see my 500 light year ring, and there's a reason I made TC Ally. I could have made TC Ally with MOC, but I already had FS set up with mechs and everything, and so I just want to do this. So I want to jump to somewhere in FedSun space from Perdition, whatever is on this jump ship. It's not important. I'm going to do it intelligently, and I'm going to jump to somewhere with a charge station. So let's just jump to the middle. Jump to Notwina. So I've said I'm going to jump from Perdition to Notwina. We're going to jump this jump ship, normal pass through. Oops, and I need to fix the background on this. Normal jump from Perdition to Notwina, excess of 60 light years attempted. That's because we didn't do a periphery link jump. Going to change that. I'm going to try the jump again. And boom, now we have a guy on Notwina. This one is expensive, by the way. Yeah, whereas you saw before, to jump a jump ship in my space is 304K. To do that jump is 53 million. So they are expensive, the periphery link jumps. So now I'm in his space, and I can do whatever I need to do from inside his space. But that's how the periphery link jump works. That's how all of your special jumps are going to work, by the way. Whether you're a clan, mercenary, doesn't matter. It's going to show up there as your particular special type of jump. So that was not as smooth as I'd liked. Are there any questions?
I haven't seen anything come in yet.
Either everyone has stopped watching, or they're all glazed over at this point.
The delay. So when are you going live tonight?
Yeah, we'll do it sometime this evening after this. Want to make sure that the clan dropship issue is sorted out properly. Like I said, I think everyone's got the tonnage there, or the capacity they're looking for. I will make that work in the automation. All right, so if there's nothing else, let's do some battles. Who can I fight with? I think I have stuff set up. No, that's not going to work. Let's see. He's got stuff on Robinson. Robinson is under attack. That shouldn't matter. Yeah, I can go attack something over here. All right, so he's logged in as Fed Sons there. Log in the other one. Oh, damn it. Close my IE. Log the other one here in as DC again. All right, so I'm going to launch an attack on DC from Fed Sons, and I'm going to do this in a way. Shit, that's not going to work. Maybe I'll do it the other way around. And the reason that's not going to work, by the way, is I can't lift anything off of a planet that's currently under attack, and Robinson's under attack. I do have a sector assault we can look at. I would like to do one from scratch, though. Give me 1 second. I'm just going to kill this battle. All right, that should do it. And it did not. That's because I was doing stuff in the... Shit. Okay, I should have gone. Good. Battle should be gone. Pick my stuff up off of Robinson. Oh, that's a bug. I'll have to fix that before we start fighting battles. Oh, wait a minute. It's FedSons. Sorry. Not a bug. I was thinking I was looking at DC's automation. All right, so I'm going to load up some stuff here, and I'm going to go attack DC with it. So I'm not going to comment too much. I'm just going to do this.
I got to duck out, brother. I'll see you later. I'll
All
watch
right.
the rest of this on YouTube.
Cool. Thanks, man.
So is the streaming over?
No.
What'd you say?
No. Why is the stream stopped?
No. I'm just curious because the last guy left.
No, he had to go. We are on Robinson, and let's see. I want to attack Marduk because I know that there's stuff there. Can I get there from here? Is it the right sector? Yes, let's do that. This is back when I still had merchants. Okay. We're going to launch us a sector dam assault. No, we're not. Because, oh, as you see, I can't just launch an assault because you have to be at -10 or worse. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to launch a raid. Sector assaults are slightly different. Raid, the logging, the tracker stuff that you see with the raid and assaults, very similar. So, damn it, I can't do that. I'm going to have to launch a raid. Launch a raid. Boom, that happened. I need more feedback on here that the raid actually took place. FedSons launched the raid. So what you're going to see is we've got this battle on Marduk. It's an initialized state. The way the rules work for raids and assaults is the attacker will select the planet order. The planet order is important because that's the order in each planet has a terrain class. So like a tropical planet is going to have a certain set of maps that you're going to play on that planet. So when I come in here and I do initialize, what I'm doing is, maybe I brought a whole bunch of hot weather mechs, or I don't know. There's nothing. I didn't really scout the sector, so I don't know what's going on. I don't want hot. So we're going to drag desert to the bottom, urban because I really like River City and Crimson Strait. I really don't like mountain because I'm bringing brawlers. So that's the mountain. Maybe desert will work too. So I would have scouted this sector beforehand, and I would have tailored my forces to the stuff that's in there. So I know going in as attacker what order I want to fight these in. So I'm just going to drag them around, get them in the order I want them in, and then I'm going to submit. Now, at this point, you can sit there and actually, this is super important. I almost forgot. It's the easiest thing in the world to forget. You've got to put your mechs down on the planet. Right now, they're still sitting on a dock to a jump ship outside the planet. So, actually, I need to fix this refresh bug. So there are drop ships here on the jump ship that I brought in. I'm going to put those on the planet. This is the refresh bug I was talking about. That should show stuff here, but it doesn't. So now combat units, I can take all the stuff that I brought with me. They're going to pop it onto the planet. That's everything, so I'm good. Because one of the things, there's two things you can do. You can wait for the 18-hour reinforcement window to close. Right now, I can bring in more mechs to this battle if I wanted. Or if you and your opponent are ready, or even if you're ready, you're going to see in this, there's a button in here that says ready up. You and the opponent have the ability to short circuit that 18-hour window whenever you want, if you're both ready. If you're like, hey, I just launched it, and the opponent says, yeah, we're good to go now, we're looking for something to do, we want to play, you can both click ready up and go. This requires both sides to do it. So this will tell you, this is going to be the warning that says do this if you're ready. And I need to put in warnings all over the place for the failure to drop your mechs onto the planet, because that used to happen all the time. Teams, it's the easiest step to miss, is to drop your mechs on a planet when you're attacking. This will give you a warning basically saying the same thing, and that you're absolutely ready. Yeah, I'm ready. I know that over here on the DC side, this guy, where's Marduk? I know he's got mechs on the planet, okay, because we got green rings. He'll look at his battles, it'll say ready up for him. And we'll see over here on the first side, when I click ready up, the ready up button turns green. I can unclick that at any time. The battle will, it will not move from, the status will not move from pending to forced deck, which means the forced deck has been generated and the battle lockdown has happened and you can't do anything else. You can't bring in any more reinforcements. I can do this in and out of ready as often as I like. As soon as both teams click ready, that's when we're in. There's no 10-second period like there is in MechWarrior Online. It's as soon as you click ready, we're both in. So, damn it, I meant to show that. Click it in and out like that. So he's Fedson's ready, DC's ready. He gets the same warning. Boom. Now we are into battle mode. Clicks. The force deck has been generated. Status change force deck. Now we can go fight the battle. That seems wrong. I know why that is. Yeah. Pretend there are only 5 drops here. These other ones are because I basically wiped out this battle on this planet from before and it didn't take all the drops. Don't worry about that. That's not a bug. That's just me doing stuff in the database manually. What you're going to see is the first 5 drops. Both sides see the same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. This is the maps you're going to play, the mode that's going to play it on, and the tonnage you're going to play those. That's not going to change. For raids, that is calculated once up front, and that's how you're going to play it. 1 second. All right, I got rid of the other ones. There, that's what it should look like right there. So there's a couple things to look at here. Actually, questions. Yeah, I don't have Bandit on, so I gotta remember to pop over here. Okay, so to answer Jay-Z's question, if so, or what stage of the maps and tonnages get generated before or after dropping mechs on the planet? It'll get generated at any time, whether you've dropped mechs or not, and this is the problem. This is why you have to make sure you drop the mechs on the planet. 18-hour window, it will happen on its own if you don't do anything. At 18 hours, the force deck will be generated, and then you can't bring any more mechs in. All right, so we are looking at the battle tracker over here on the DC side. This is the manual version. This is also a drop calculator. So when I'm looking at 550 and what can we take at 550? Clearly on IE I can take nothing. Great, I'm gonna need to fix that bug too. So let's go over to the FedSun side where this is on Chrome on this side. So again, over here I got a bunch of stuff. We're at 550. I can start just clicking stuff and 3 stalkers, a couple of blackjacks. I got 205 left, 150. It sounds like a couple of 75s. I don't have any 75s, but I have an 85 and a 65. And then boom. So you can click stuff in and out of here all you want. And maybe you want to go heavy and light on this one. That should actually have tonnages. Why doesn't it have tonnages? Oh, and I won't let you put any more than 8 mechs in there because we are 8v8. So you can keep editing that all you want. It doesn't matter until you click log drop. There are 2 different ways we can log a drop. The PGI API match ID we were talking about earlier. When you click that button in your lobby that copies the ID to your clipboard, you will come over here and enter that into this field. And I think I've got one. Oh, come on. Where'd my taskbar go? Okay. So pretend I'm in the game. I'm in the lobby. I've clicked that button. I've got a drop ID on my clipboard. Oh, damn it, hang on. How do I not have any 75-ton mechs? There we go. Let's say I lost my Battle Masters. I'm going to click Destroy. That's going to get moved into the Destroy column. Hey, I didn't lose 3, I only lost 2. You just click the things in here to move them back and forth. Wherever you see the finger, you click on. So I log him. So I'm going to go over to the DC side. Yeah, he's got shit. IE. I hate IE. All right, I need to fix that. This is not a very interesting demo unless both sides can log. Hang on a second. I know what I can do. know why that's not taking it. Interesting. Oh, I know why. Hang on. Let's try the right automation. My fingers are just way too big for this damn keyboard. Okay. Oh, I don't want DC. I wanted Fed Sons, didn't I? Why the hell does Fed Sons have... Never mind, I'm not going to worry about that now. Fed Sons has the wrong logo over there. It's confusing me. Alright. There's those king crabs for you. Switch. God, 550 is a lot of tonnage. Alright. Alright, so we see that the automation calculated that the attacker won. We move on to the next drop. We come back over to the other side. That guy has automatically moved on to the next drop as well, and you know the log drop button has been re-enabled, and we can keep doing this until the raid is over. There's one thing to Aylward, are you still not hearing me? All right, there's one thing to bear in mind is the way raids work is when you've taken something, you cannot use it again. This will track that for you as well. It doesn't matter how you log it, whether it was the match ID or in here. This will handle that for you. I don't think we're going to have time. We're going to bore people. We're going to 2 hours to get into sector assaults. Sector assaults are very much the same as this, except that you're going to see when you first, you suck your planets in the battle before stack gets generated. All you're going to see is the first drop. Because of the way they work, that's all we can know, because what the second drop is depends on the results of the first drop. And that's going to progress all the way through until somebody wins, and it's going to track whether you're in assault and siege, and it's going to handle all that for you. But it's going to work a lot like this. You're going to log your drops using the match ID from the lobby, which I really want everyone to do because it's just going to make things a lot easier. You're going to log things that way. If something happens where you can't, like there's an error in somebody's roster or something got screwed up, you can always fall back to the manual way. And beyond that, it should just all work. All right, so are there... Yeah, I don't see any questions in Discord. I guess we're 30 seconds behind on the stream, so I'm going to have to wait to see if there's any questions in the stream. If nobody has any questions in the stream, then I don't have a lot more to show in terms of how things work. That's the basics of how you move stuff around your space. It's how you're going to do your battles. It's what we have for economy, and that's basically what we have in general right now. You've seen some of the things, the direction I'm moving with your interaction with the automation, so that things aren't as obnoxiously difficult to deal with as they were in the past, or even as they are now. Things are just going to keep getting better. The idea is not to make you guys work, it's to make your work a lot easier. The question is, do we go live now from Naturist? I want to review everyone's setup, and we'll probably do it. I'll do it one at a time. It's not going to be a big thing. I'll probably let you know. Maybe, damn it, it doesn't tell you when you go active, when I set you active. But I definitely want to make sure that everyone's setup is not, I'm not going to issue startup funds and then people are in the red automatically. So roll people out as we go tonight. Plus, I want to take a look at the clan dropship thing and see if that needs any actual dealing with. In terms of news ticker function, I am trying to get a sort of Google News, Yahoo News, that type of interface for news articles on the main site. Trying to get that going. A news ticker in the automation would be a good idea. Just like maybe the headlines, something you can turn on and off if you want. Yeah, so I mean, if that's it, actually, if there are any more questions, just grab me in Discord. I'm probably, like I said, I'm going to go ahead and look at everyone's stuff. Actually, what I need to do is I need to take the server down for a little bit to update it with all this stuff. Hopefully, it should just take 5 or 10 minutes. If I have problems, it could take a half hour to an hour. And then I want to make sure everyone's setup is okay. And then, as I'm going to go through it one at a time and activate people one at a time, as we find out whether it's okay or not. So with that, I guess, like I said, any questions, hit me up in Discord. Otherwise, thank everyone for listening, and good hunting.